Welcome to the first video of 2023. Today we're going to be ranking every single state in America using a tier list. Some US states are really good and some US states are not so good. So without further ado, let's get into ranking. So the first state we have on this list is Indiana, pretty mid-state. They do have Indianapolis and a couple sports teams. Mid-state, C tier. Next up we have Hawaii, which is a really nice state to visit and a beautiful tourist destination. I'd give it an S tier. Hawaii, really good state. California, on the other hand, is extremely overrated. They have high prices, a lot of homelessness. They do have it's just overrated in general. LA is not a great place to live. I give it a C tier. It's just so overrated because of the high prices, high taxes, and especially LA is awful. Alaska. Ooh, Alaska doesn't really have that much. I give it a D tier. It is really cold. I think maybe hunting is a good thing you could do in Alaska, but that's really it. Alabama, you know the memes about Alabama. Yeah, Alabama definitely has a lot of word I do not want to say on YouTube, but F tier because there's nothing cool about that country or state. If it was a country, it'd be awful. Arizona, B tier. It is really hot in Arizona. They do have the Grand Canyon. They do have some sports teams, but I think Arizona is an overall pretty good state. Next up, we have Colorado. Colorado, beautiful state with the Rocky Mountains. They do have some sports teams. Overall, solid state. Delaware, on the other hand, not good at all. Has nothing special. It's just mid-state, or not even mid, just bad because there's nothing cool about that state. Connecticut, again, like Delaware, it's really small, really nothing special, but they do have good education. But things there are pretty chill in Connecticut, so I'd give it a C tier instead of an F. Florida, I give an A tier. You do have to worry about hurricanes attacking you every year because they are awful in Florida. However, they have great tourist destinations such as Disney World and Universal. They also do have Miami, Tampa, Orlando, and some other cities. Florida, good state. I'm giving it an A tier. Georgia, Atlanta carries that. Rappers, a lot of rappers from there, but pretty mid-state apart from Atlanta. Maryland, definitely an underrated state. B tier. I was actually born here. I spent the first year of my life here in Maryland. But Maryland, has an extremely diverse community. I like Maryland. I give it a B tier. Definitely slept on a lot. Idaho. The first thing you think about when you hear Idaho are potatoes. That's literally it. That's why I'm giving it an F tier. Illinois, just like Georgia, Chicago carries it. C tier. Arkansas, F tier. They have awful crime, awful poverty, awful education, and I have family there too. Arkansas is not a great place to live or visit. Who wants to visit Arkansas? Iowa, unless you have family there. But Iowa, another F tier. Nothing special in Iowa. Kansas, another F tier. Also nothing special. Both pretty boring states. Kentucky, F tier. There's really, again, not much. You could say Kentucky Fried Chicken, but that's not saving it from F tier. Louisiana, not an F tier actually. Breaks a streak of F tiers. I'd give it a C tier. They love fishing. They have a lot of jazz in New Orleans. They do have some sports teams. I think they do get hurricanes every once in a while, so that's worth noting. But I think Louisiana is an okay state. Maine, on the other hand, another F tier because there's nothing cool in Maine. Massachusetts, great education. Boston's a pretty good city. I personally like Massachusetts, A tier. Michigan, Detroit really carries that state. Yeah, I guess so, you could say that. Crime, yeah, there's a lot of crime in Detroit. But yeah, I think Michigan should not be an F tier. Minnesota, B tier. They have the Great Mall of America. They do have some sports teams, but Minnesota, I think, is a solid state. Also, it does get really cold. That's a problem, though. Mississippi, Alabama without the memes. Montana, I think Montana is okay. I don't think it should be F tier. They do have a tiny bit of the Yellowstone National Park. They have great things to do outside, outdoor activities. That's why I'm not giving it an F tier. But apart from that, it still is a pretty lame state. Extremely beautiful. Actually, I'm gonna bring it to C tier. Extremely beautiful. The scenery's great. so C tier. Nebraska, F tier, nothing special. Nevada, they have Las Vegas. Las Vegas really carries that state, C tier. They also do have Area 51 in the Hoover Dam, but that's really it. New Hampshire, another F tier because nothing special. New Jersey, okay, I've been there when I was a baby. Don't remember anything obviously because I was a baby. But New Jersey, I think it's an okay state. I heard they have great education. But I think New Jersey, B tier, or not B tier, C tier. Because apart from like the education, it's pretty boring. New Mexico, oh my goodness, this one of the most boring states in the entire United States. There's nothing special there except for Breaking Bad. That's it. It's a worse Arizona. It's not good at all. New York, on the other hand, that's great state. New York City is a great place to visit. Living, it does get really expensive and a lot of crime, but New York City is definitely a great place to visit as a tourist. Niagara Falls is also a beautiful place on the border of Canada. I think New York is pretty good. They do have some flaws, but I think it's still an A tier. North Carolina, Mr. Beast. They also the Wright brothers. That's where the first plane took off, I believe. But North Carolina, I think it's a C tier. So apart from that, there's not really that much. They also do have a couple sports teams like the Hornets and Panthers. But yeah, C tier. North Dakota, F tier. Nothing special. Ohio does not deserve to be hated on because of the memes, but Cincinnati and Cleveland are not really good major cities. So D tier. Oklahoma, boring. Oregon, it's okay. It's okay. It's a really beautiful state. They do have Portland, but Oregon, I believe, should be a C tier. Next up, we have Pennsylvania. Okay, Pennsylvania is a solid state, I think. B tier. They have Philadelphia, great history. I believe it was the old capital. Pittsburgh, the Steel City. I think you can't really go wrong. Pennsylvania, I believe it's a solid B tier. Rhode Island, nothing special about Rhode Island. Come on, smallest state in the U.S. Nothing there. South Carolina, another F tier. It's boring, just really boring in South Carolina. It's just like a worse North Carolina. However, South Dakota is like the better North Dakota because they have Mount Rushmore, and that's about it. Nothing special about the Dakotas, particularly North Dakota. Missouri, they do have St. Louis, that really carries that entire state. Next up, we have Tennessee. I believe it's a solid state. They have Nashville, Memphis. They have a few sports teams. Great history. The Music City, or the Music State, with a lot of Elvis Presley. Solid state. Texas, S tier. Everything's bigger in Texas. Texas is just... I love the state of Texas. It's just a great state because they have a lot of cities, a lot of major cities like Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. You can go on and on. They have a lot of sports teams, including baseball, basketball, even hockey and football. Yeah, I've been to Dallas once. It's a really nice city. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Texas. So now we have Utah, D tier. I think they do have a few activities, which is why they're not in F tier. But actually, I'm bringing it in F tier. That's going to be unfair for the rest of the states in F tier. Vermont, nothing there. Literally just forest. Nothing special. Virginia, I'm actually from here. Northern Virginia is where I'm from. I think Virginia is a good state. Great state, actually. Yeah, it is getting expensive, but Virginia, can't go wrong. It's right by DC. Has a lot of great history for those of you living around Virginia. I suggest visiting Jamestown. Great history. That's where the English settlers came in 1600s. So Washington, they do have Seattle. Apart from that, nothing crazy. West Virginia, literally the song from John Denver. That's it. And mountains, country roads too. F tier, just a much worse Virginia. Wisconsin, D tier. I think they do have a couple they do have Milwaukee. They have Green Bay where the Hackers play. So I don't think Wisconsin's an F tier, but pretty close. Wyoming, literally nothing special in Wyoming. They do have Josh Allen. That's it. And the Yellowstone National Park. F tier though, because that's a pretty boring state. So this is the final tier list. Only 2 states in S tier. A lot of states in F tier, but that makes sense because a lot of states in the US have nothing cool about them. So I'm going to end the video there. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, join the Discord server, and I'll see you all in the next video.